me ask you a question. Just something I thought about. All right, so Klay Thompson's now the sixth man. Said he's going to do it. Let's say it's true that he's making 43, which is true.
Next question.
And that he turned down a 2-year, $48 million extension that would have started kicking in next year.
That's a pay
Is
cut.
there any way Klay Thompson, as a sixth man, can play well enough that he gets a contract extension bigger than 2 years, $48 million?
I do believe so.
Because I do think that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
That's what I'm asking Warrior fans at 888-957-9570.
And that would mean he hit this role out the park. You know what I'm saying, Steiny? So,
right.
I mean, it's not about numbers, but I guess it is in life. I could see a scenario if Klay was on fire the rest down the stretch, Steiny, and let's just say from the moment he started the Andrew Toney, the six-man role, Bobby Jones, let's say he averaged 15 to 18 points a game. Like, I could see with everything that Joe Lacob has shown, what you've done and the ride we've been on, that family bond, that means something. So whatever number we're talking about, that's probably worth 12 mil, 12 M's, 13 M's, Donnie. And if he could somehow just, take this to another level, I could see it happening.
And this is Shams Charania talking about Klay Thompson, who's recently moved to the bench. He becomes a free agent at the end of the year. What are we going to do? Can you play that, E?
This has been a stressful year for Klay Thompson. I think he's been going through it at different points, and I think he's doing the best he can to get through it. But he's set to be a free agent at the end of the season. From everything, I expect him to test the marketplace. I would expect both Florida teams. I would expect both LA teams.
Austin.
I would expect potentially a couple East Coast teams to have interest in Klay Thompson. He's, as of right now, unless there's a miracle extension, he's going to test the marketplace. And I think the Warriors have understood going into the year after they didn't extend him. His future's up in the air just for the simple fact he's going to be going into free agency.
That was Shams Charania talking about the free agency pending.
And he
Klay
should
Thompson.
shop, Stoney. He should shop. Especially if you're talking about taking half a pay, 50% pay cut. If he's making 43 now, for that to go to 24, if what I just brought up, doesn't manifest. I'm telling you, Klay Thompson and other areas with multiple guys being able to shimmy and do what Steph does and drive and kick.
I got to tell you, there seems to be an incongruity here. So we're high on the Warriors. They got a run in them. They're playing better. Who knows? Klay Thompson's in a different role. So why would he? You think you have a chance to be a contender? Why would he want to play for another team?
If the money wasn't
are the Lakers? The Lakers are no more of a contender than the Warriors. They're 9-10.
I beg to differ.
Oh, I want to go to the Lakers. Why? They're 500 just like we are.
But they got a 7-footer that when push comes to shove.
Okay,
they showed you last year.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Okay, let me ask you this. The Lakers are 9. The Warriors are 10. It's one of those things where I could be like, what are we talking about here? Yeah, it's titles, big runs. One's 9, one's 10. So my question is, what team do you think is more likely to make a run? The Lakers or the Warriors? Because they kind of both can in a way.
I'm going to be honest here, and I've been consistent. Right now, it'd be the Lakers. And they did it last year. They're just lollygagging through the season, man. And they've proven, and I don't know if you want to if anybody out there listening thinks this is what's wrong with the NBA, I'm not saying they're losing on purpose, but they got the components. We saw the NBA playing. We saw last year they were in the same spot, but they got a 7-footer, a guy that won't age in LeBron James when it's go time, and they got to the Western Conference Finals. I think they have a better roster now. They're missing some guys. So to me, when I look at the Lakers, the Warriors are the question mark, the Riddler costume. The Lakers are, if they don't improve, Stoney, they've shown you that they can, when it's time to go, they got the components with LeBron and AD to be a problem. That's just me.
You could make a case that if the Lakers play anybody but the Warriors last year in the second round, they lose. They beat the Warriors because it was an unbelievably favorable matchup for the team they had. Then they played in the next round. They got thumped. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say something about that thump to Denver. They ran out of gas every game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, because they didn't have what they have now. I mean, Vincent hasn't played. Again, you just asked me a question, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's the Warriors. But, Steiny, I've seen this movie before with AD and LeBron, that when it's go time, those two can take you somewhere.
Well, you're acting as though Anthony Davis has like 6 titles.
No, but he's been playing his ass off. Yeah. He should have been at the All-Star game.
Yeah, see, I mean,
he was at the All-Star game, but he should have been starting.
I almost have more faith in the Warriors than the Lakers, believe it or not.
Wow.
I bet, like, if you said right now, Steiny, who's going to go further? I think I'd say the Warriors.
No, boy. Now, you would understand 8 out of 10 people saying the Lakers.
Why? They're one game. They're the same team, essentially. One's 27-26, one's 29-26.
But I guess when you go back to last year, you hold it against the Warriors, and rightfully so, losing to that Laker team. But it seems like you're not giving the Lakers any props. Not that they're asking you from going from the play-in to the Western Conference Finals, because they got two arguably top 15 players.
Well, I look at it this way: the Lakers matchup against the Warriors Warriors just did not match up against the Lakers well. They're too big. They're too strong.
Yeah.
Their interior players are too big and too good. So I look at the Lakers and think, they're kind of a run-of-the-mill team. But they just faced a Warrior team that they own, essentially, because of the match. They got to Denver. No chance against Denver.
Where you at, real quick?
I'll tell you what.
Where you at on the Suns?
That's one of those things, E. Guru said it pretty casually. Hey, more faith. Who's going to make a run, the Lakers or the Warriors? And I'm like, I actually think the Warriors. Like, if I said Lakers.
Oh, no. And I'll tell you, I've been consistent. I mean, I just feel like they're playing possum, Lakers.
They're not good enough to play possum.
Well, you buying Phoenix?
No. Buying Denver. I'm buying Denver. Just like I did all year last year. You're welcome.
4 seeds, Steiny.
Right, because they're cruising.
Shout out to them.
Okay, they're a 4 seed, but I think they lost 3 in a row, right, going into the break?
Yeah.
Okay. So give them 2 more wins and they're a 2 seed, probably. Let's go to Jason. Jason's in the Central Valley. Hey, Jason, how you doing, man? How do you feel? Hey, let me ask you this.
Guys.
Let me start out with a question for you, Jason. Does it bother you that Guru thinks the Lakers are better than the Warriors? And they're going to go farther?
Does it bother me? I wouldn't say it bothers me. I mean, I look at reality, and if they go head-to-head in the playoffs at some point, you got to be prepared to know that the Lakers have the size over us. And that's my take. And that's the number one thing that bothers me right now.
What?
It's just no matter how good it seems that they are, it's just anytime they go up against a team that has some sort of size, it's just it's kind of like their kryptonite. It's just really hard for the Warriors to get over that hump. Curry just seems to get exhausted at the end of games trying to carry them through these 1-point deficits, whether they're either up or down by 1. But just getting to Klay Thompson and just preparing for the worst-case scenario that they do lose him to free agency. I mean, there are guys in the market that are going into the market that are younger and possibly produce guys that...
Thanks, Chase. You're breaking up. But they're going to be small again.
And that's why I keep, my I don't want to say enthusiasm, Steiny, but the Lakers got that size, man. They got some guys. So I just think that goes a long way and helps you play possum and then be, the lights come on. And I'm thinking that same way with the Warriors. If they get in, they're going to be a problem. But there's so many things you can manipulate on a basketball court, but size is just not one of them, man.
I'm trying to think if I should take a victory lap or
on
a couple things.
Oh, boy, let's hear it.
Well, and this the last show we did together. You got me mad. Not the one show we started out, man. It was another show. It was another show.
Which one?
It was another show.
Hey,
you got me mad.
come on.
When you were talking about, it was before the trading deadline, and I said, and then the trading deadline passed, and you said they'd won like 8 of 9 or 8 of 10 or something. You'd be like, Steiner, it seems to me like you just don't want them to win 8 of 9. And I said, Goo, a week before the deadline, Steiny, what would you do? What would you do, Steiny? Steiny, what would you do? I said, I don't think there's a lot to do. I don't think there's a trade out there that's going to make them better. So what do? You get Draymond back. You see if he makes you better. All right? You gotta go from 12 to 11, from 11 to 10. Now they're up to 10. You got to figure out roles for all these guys because you haven't been able to do that because of health. I said the only thing you can do is Wiggins got to play better. That's kind of it was the only thing they could really do, and now they're doing it. And the question is, can they keep it going? I'm gonna take my victory lap.
I feel like all three of us should be running. You, Evan, and I.
Yeah, no.
But yeah,
just me. No, I'm kidding. But here's the one. Here's kind of the one victory lap I'm going to take. Maybe it's too soon, but that's all right. What happened to your boy Moody?
That's interesting. I was going to bring him up.
Why? Why would you bring him up?
Because
not good enough. He's just a guy.
And I want your thoughts here. And you tell me if you and Evan discussed this
we
yesterday.
talked about a certain guy yesterday for a while.
Oh boy. Okay. So with Moody, just me now.
Yeah.
I am a Pods fan.
He's better than Moody.
Okay.
He's better.
All right, I'll give you that.
Took him about 1 month to see that.
But let me just say this.
Okay.
The explosion from JK and his willingness to go public and say, he felt like there was more he could do. We saw that, and I thought he might be moved like that. That was on the table.
Remember when that happened? Goose says, Steiny, what did they do today? No, and I said, well, Moody will go to practice, and then they have a game tomorrow, and he'll probably play as many minutes.
But listen,
you said he lost faith in the coach.
Yeah, no, I didn't know
what they do today.
And all of a sudden, just
put a uniform on.
A metamorphosis has happened like we haven't seen around these parts in a while. My thing is, I'm not taking anything away from Pods because the way he's smart. I'm just wondering, do you think Kerr looked at how he handled Moody and more JK?
No. Oh, my God.
It's benefited Pods.
No, Pods benefited Pods.
What?
He's better than Moody.
Little Daryl said the same. But
he's better.
I'm not saying he's
Moody
not, but he's not better than Kuminga.
Well, of course not.
And my point with that is Kuminga, he had to earn everything. And there was, I don't want to say friction, and to Kerr's credit, he never was like, oh, this is bad. It was just, I'm teaching, and he's got to get it, and he'll get it. But now you look at it like, wow, but I'm honest enough to look you in the face and tell the listeners, Steiny, I didn't know if this was going to work. So maybe I need to put Moody aside and just focus more on Kuminga and say, was Pods the beneficiary of maybe Kerr saying, you know what, maybe I can give these rooks a little more early?
No. Nope. That's not the way I see it. I see Brandin Podziemski getting drafted. I see him playing in the summer. I see him coming into training camp, and I see Steve Kerr after a month saying he's better than Moody and he's better than Klay right now. Podziemski's earned everything he's got.
I just say, yeah.
I mean, the contrast to me between a guy like Podziemski and Moody is drastic. Like Moody just, after watching Podziemski, you know what I'm saying? Moody doesn't do enough. Moody doesn't do enough. Like Moody,
and it takes him to see what he's doing to say that. I get it.
Podziemski has figured out a way to play with stars, great players, Hall of Famers, still do his thing and not take away from the other guys.
And now
Moody's never figured it out.
No doubt.
Moody just runs up and down with the stars, takes an open shot when he gets it. Podziemski's not afraid to put himself out. Podziemski puts himself out there.
Man, I like how you say that. And Steiny, what about his Fred Astaire footwork, Podziemski? Like if he gets you one-on-one, I'm not saying he's Kobe, he knows what he's trying to do. There is an equation. There is a formula in his mind. And more often than not, I see these guys like, let me stop this curly hair dude from Santa Clara. And then bam, he's bounce passing, hitting a cutter, or take the shot. Rebound, man. Dude's a player, that's all.
Let's go to Daniel in Rohnert Park. Hey, Daniel, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Long-time listener. This is my first time ever calling.
Nice.
So anyway, I think you opened this with the, what do you think about the short term and then the long term? Let's kind of really look at it. Well, in the short term, man, these young guys, they just come out of nowhere and just, tearing it up. Now, Klay, we love him forever. But, man, we gave him 2 years at $40 million a year to nurse his leg. And, I don't want to say he owes us because, goddamn, He is the Splash Brother forever, you know? Well, he's got to play the six-man role. And I have yet to hear anyone on the radio even bring up Andre Iguodala. Who was the man who set the stage? He won a Finals MVP as the best six-man out there.
Well, not to mention Curry has come off the bench in his career. Draymond's come off the bench at times.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't Klay in a way? Thanks for the call, Daniel. I got to get him off with the GD.
Yeah.
You can't. The Warriors were small when they won 4 rings, but they're getting older and a little slower to make up for their size. I agree. South City Rick. I agree. 415. I'll tell you what. Let me see if I can read this. He made a list of the players making between 21 and 25 million. I can only see a couple of them. DeMar DeRozan, Draymond. Anyway.